Hey guys, SpinoDude here, and today we're here for a special video because Papo have just revealed their first 2018 figure releases for next year. I think this is going to be part 1 because there may be a couple more figures that are going to be revealed from Papo, but there may not, and I hope there's going to be at least 1 or 2 more. But we're just going to take a look at these releases from them, and I'm going to share my opinions on them. So without further ado guys, why don't we jump right in and take a look at the first figure. Alright, here's the first figure that is being released individually next year on its own. It is the Juvenile Spinosaurus from the Christmas set from Papo, which was just released recently. This one is technically a 2017 release because it was released this year for sale, but because it's being released on its own next year for 2018, I thought I'd just share my opinions on it in this video. Now this is obviously Jurassic Park inspired because it goes with their Jurassic Park inspired Spinosaurus, which is still one of my favorite figures of all time just for nostalgia reasons. And since a baby Spinosaurus design has never really been introduced to the Jurassic Park franchise, I think this is a great attempt at making one. It's obvious this wasn't intended to be scientifically accurate or anything, this is just for Jurassic Park / World fans, and I think it looks great. I think it looks quite adorable in my opinion. The color scheme matches up quite nicely with the adult Papo Spinosaurus, and the detail here looks great as well. I love all of the individually carved scales into the sculpt, and I like the tiny little sail on its back. I think that's cute. I know many people utterly despise this figure because it's not scientifically accurate, but Papo don't really brand their figures as educational, so I think we can lay a little bit of pressure off of them there. And I think these and Papo's other stylized dinosaurs and prehistoric animals are just great additions to collections for Jurassic Park and Jurassic World fans like me. So all of my opinions here guys are just personal opinions. So that's Papo's brand new Juvenile Spinosaurus. Let me know what you think of this one down in the comments below. Up next, here is Papo's 2018 Amargasaurus. Now this is an interesting one for Papo to make, and I'm going to be flat out honest and just say that I do not like this one. It looks extremely cartoony to me, maybe something that Schleich would produce. When I first saw the image that was leaked online that my friend sent to me, I thought it was a new Schleich figure at first until he confirmed it was from Papo. I think it's just mostly the face here, to be honest. The face looks cartoony to me. Maybe it'll look better in person because I remember their Polacanthus from last year. The image of the face looked a little weird, but I own that one now and the model is utterly fantastic. It doesn't look like there's much detail on this figure here, and the color scheme is just kind of bland and not really too attractive in my opinion. Now this is my favorite sauropod, and it's nice to see that Papo did attempt to make one, but it looks kind of rushed in my opinion. Safari Limited did make an Amargasaurus as well for 2018. That model is utterly fantastic. We did review that one if you want to go check it out. It's on the channel. So that's Papo's brand new Amargasaurus. Not a fan of this one. I don't think I'll be picking this one up unless the promo image just looks really bad here in comparison to the figure. Again guys, these are just personal opinions I am sharing. Make sure to leave comments with your own opinions as well. Up next, here is Papo's 2018 Iguanodon. Yes, their Iguanodon is finally here. I think it was delayed from 2016 to 2017 and then delayed to 2018, but it's here finally. Now let me just say, when I look at this figure, it does not look like an Iguanodon to me. When I first saw the image for this figure, I thought it was a Shantungosaurus at first, rather than an Iguanodon. I think if Papo renamed it, it might be able to pull off better as a Shantungosaurus rather than an Iguanodon. But the inspiration for the sculpt work here obviously comes from Disney's Dinosaurs. Kron, I believe his name was. I'll put a picture up in editing so you can see a comparison. I love this sculpt that they've gone for here. The body sculpt is great. The head sculpt, not so much in my opinion. Maybe it'll look better in person though. Like I said, Papo doesn't take the best promo images. We know this from the past few years. The color scheme here is really nice though. I love the tannish underbelly with some greens and blues and purples mixed with some yellow stripes going down the tail. The pose is interesting as well. It's quite active, and I like how one of the hooves is off the ground. Now one thing I think that's super interesting about this figure is that it's one of Papo's first herbivore figures to have an an articulated jaw. Usually Papo just makes their carnivorous dinosaurs have articulated jaws, but this Iguanodon has one, as well as their other release for 2018, which we're going to take a look at in a second. I'm going to be interested to see how this one looks in person. I might pick it up. So yeah, that's Papo's Iguanodon, guys. Let me know what you think of it down below. And last, but certainly not least for today, is my personal favorite from Papo's new releases, their brand new Therizinosaurus. Now when I'm looking at this figure, I'm looking at it as its own thing. I'm not viewing it as a Therizinosaurus that you'd see roaming the Cretaceous wilds 65 million years ago. I'm looking at it as its own stylized animal. And while I would have liked to see some more feathers on the sculpt, I really like the sculpt and the pose that they've gone for here. The first thing that hit me is that this figure will look super dynamic next to their baryonyx in sort of a fantasy fight scene, in my opinion. Like I said a second ago, I think it could use some more feathers. If you're going to put feathers on any dinosaur figure, you should just give them a nice full fluffy covering instead of just some sparse feathers on the body, in my opinion. My other nitpick is that the claws are pretty short for being a Therizinosaurus. The legs look a little bit short as well, but I think the pose sort of covers for it. The colors are nice as well. I like the brownish reddish feathers on the tail and on the legs, as well as the grayish bluish feathers on the back. Then you have some greenish bluish feathers on the head and the back of the neck towards the head. Also on the tail and on the forelimbs we have some white feathers with black tips on them. Also, this one has an articulated jaw as well, which I think is great. This Therizinosaurus and the Iguanodon from Papo for 2018 are their first figurines that they've ever made of herbivores that have articulated jaws. So yeah guys, that's Papo's brand new Therizinosaurus for 2018. I really like this one. Even though it's stylized, I think it's a great dynamic piece, and I'm looking forward to seeing this one in hand. Well, there we go guys, that was today's look at the first batch of Papo's 2018 prehistoric life releases. I'm going to say that this is the first batch because there is rumor that there's going to be 1 or 2 more figures released from them for 2018, but I hope these 4 figures here aren't the only ones. There is still a rumor of a Giganotosaurus floating around, so I'm hoping to see that one revealed sometime. Just for a quick recap, we've got the Papo Juvenile Spinosaurus, the Amargasaurus, the Iguanodon with an articulated jaw, and the Therizinosaurus with an articulated jaw. My personal favorite out of this batch is the Therizinosaurus. I think for my second pick, I'll have to go with the Juvenile Spinosaurus. Third is the Iguanodon, and the last one is the Amargasaurus. I really just am not a fan of that Amargasaurus personally. Let me know which of these is your favorite in the comments down below. So anyway guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, leave a like down below and subscribe to the channel. Also leave a comment telling me what you think of these brand new figures from Papo. So thank you so much guys for watching, and as always I will see you in my next video. Take care, and bye bye.